And it didn't teach me a thing about tabloid TV or the state of TV news today, two subjects about which I'm admittedly informed. In Mad City, John Travolta plays a nice guy, a museum worker, who after being laid off comes to complain to his boss and ends up accidentally wounding a museum guard who was a friend of his. When shots ring out and children visiting in the museum become frightened, the police and the FBI are called in, and Travolta is mistakenly thought to be a crazed gunman.
Wait a minute. I see a figure approaching the wounded man. I can't make him out.
Why are you on TV?
It's Laurie Callahan.
Throwing gasoline on the fire is TV reporter Hoffman, who smells a good story, one he can exploit for personal gain as he works to win Travolta's confidence.
Look, I don't think you're crazy. I know you're not a terrorist. I know you're just an ordinary guy who's popped his top. But you must connect with those people out there. You don't think they know what it's like to lose their job? Or they don't know somebody who's lost their job? They'll understand you if you give them a chance.
Hoffman ekes out a nice confession from Travolta, and at this point, the story should be over, right?
I just want everybody to forget about it. Let me go home.
Yeah, right.
But Mad City won't go away. It also tells about a war of egos between Hoffman's character and that of a big rival, a network anchorman played by Alan Alda.
He's sunk. It's over. It's another kind of story now.
He's the same person. You can't do this. He's just an innocent.
Okay, all right. I'll work that into the story. It's a good angle.
Not an angle. It's not an angle. It's the truth.
Battling TV egos, nothing new there. The movie Network, which is 21 years old, was smarter about TV and the slick ways an audience is courted. The movie Dog Day Afternoon, which is 22 years old, was a better piece of urban theater. Like I said, I didn't learn a thing watching Mad City, although Dustin Hoffman does a better job with his character, I think, than Travolta does with his. Thumbs down from me.
Thumbs down for me, too. It's yesterday's news, you know.
Yes.
This movie, in order to be fresh in 1997, needed to tell us something we didn't already know.
You got it.
20 years ago and 10 years ago in broadcast news.
Sure.
And one of the things it might have done would have been to take a more cynical approach to the audience. At this point, I don't think it's television force-feeding the audience. I think it's the hypocritical audience wants to see this stuff and then says, oh, the media made us do it.
Yeah.
That might have been a fresh approach.
And we're talking about two big talents.
Yes.
And why they couldn't spot that this script had nothing that they themselves didn't know 20 years ago is beyond me.
And Travolta plays the same character he's played in about three
It's the same
other
Michael, the
movies.
sweet,
And
sad
Phenomenon
sack.
also,
Yes,
the same
you
sweet,
got it.
sad, apologetic, simple-minded guy.
Yeah.
A character named Mr. Bean is one of the most popular TV sitcom stars in the world, and now he has his own movie called Bean, and he's played by Rowan Atkinson. He's sort of an ill-tempered Ace Ventura in slow motion, a quietly malevolent magnet for mischief who has a way of causing trouble and then somehow being amazed at the trouble he's caused. In the new movie Bean, he's the least popular employee at a London art museum, so they gleefully send him to a California museum for 3 months just to get rid of him. Here he is on the flight to America.
You're gonna be sick.
And that's a funny moment. Peter MacNicol plays his American host who takes him to a Los Angeles amusement park.
Why don't you get another ticket? Could be more fun second time round.
Okay.
Put your seatbelt on. Brace yourself.
Bean's assignment? Assist with the unveiling of the museum's priceless new acquisition, Whistler's Mother. Bean lives in a world of sound, but he's essentially a character from silent comedy. He does manage a few words and a very funny speech in this film, but mostly he limits himself to swallowed, sub-guttural, word-like noises. He's kind of like a bad-mannered Mr. Hulot. I liked a lot of Bean, and I laughed at a lot of it, but not quite enough. Somehow it seemed like the movie ran out of ideas for Bean and added too much material involving the other characters. A close call, but a marginal thumbs down.
Oh, well, a marginal thumbs up for me. I mean, I laughed a lot at this. I'm a big fan of Rowan Atkinson. I saw him in The Nerd in London.
Did too.
And that was remarkable. And here, it's not that good, because that was a fully written play. This is a series of sketches, frankly. And so it could have used more consistent writing. But I think the whole stuff in the museum involving, which, I mean, this is pretty funny stuff. I mean, when he sneezes on the painting, I'm laughing pretty big.
Oh, yeah, when he gives the speech and somehow gets through that speech, that's funny, too.
Very funny.
But
okay.
On the other hand, wouldn't you say that although on television he exists in a world of his own, the problem here is he moves into a different world and the other people are not part of the same comic insanity?
I haven't seen the television show at all.
Once.
Okay, and what I'm saying is here, when he's in the museum and it's on him, yes. The stuff elsewhere in L.A., not as good. But you really wouldn't tell people to see this picture?
I tell them to wait and see it on video, something like that.
I never make that distinction. I never have made that distinction.
Okay,
I don't understand
if you're
the
going to make a trip out of the home to see a movie, I go see a different film.
How tough is that? Come on, Roger.
Maybe
we have cars.
Maybe one of the films coming up later on this show.
Oh, wow.
Later on, Samuel L. Jackson is a ladies' man whose wandering eye gets him in big trouble in Eve's Bayou.
Could you give me something for the pain?
Coming up next, giant alien bugs attack in Starship Troopers.
Do you think you'll be okay?
Honey, we've got nothing to worry about.
The nest is empty. See, man, forget cable. I told you, it's only on DirecTV.
With DirecTV, parents can control over 175 channels of entertainment. Even when they're not there.
Technology stinks.
For the choice of movies, cable, and sports packages you can't get anywhere else, it's got to be DirecTV.
Well, folks, Doug is the man. Doug took this place global. Doug made commitments around the world. Doug convinced me to risk it all. And it was Doug who shipped everything with some company I'd never heard of. Screwed the whole thing up. And that's why Doug is locked up in the closet. Whoa. You okay in there, buddy?
Next time, make it FedEx, the most reliable express company there is.
Can I come out now? No, Doug. I'm not finished singing your praises.
Forecast for an average fall day here in Middle Tennessee. Blue skies, chilly temps, and beautiful autumn leaves.
Predictions for Sunday, November 23rd at Centennial Park. Family entertainment, carloads of caring people, and tons of food donated to the Second Harvest Food Bank.
It's the 13th annual Reverse Parade at Centennial Park, where local celebrities, bands, clowns, other entertainment stay in one spot while you drive through the parade route in your car.
If you can't join us, then look for a Food to Families barrel like this at your Kroger store, just waiting for your canned food donation.
Or locate the Food to Families brown bag in your November 20th Nashville Banner Tennessean, fill it with your contribution, and bring it to the Reverse Parade.
We'll be serving as celebrity hosts for this year's parade. Come spend the afternoon.
It's the time to celebrate the season of giving. Together, we'll make certain no one goes hungry this winter.
It's easy, a bag full of food for an afternoon of fun.
Join us for the Reverse Parade.
Call 259-WKRN for all details.
Giant bugs threaten Earth in Starship Troopers, a sometimes spectacular science fiction film that is directed by Paul Verhoeven, pokes fun at the gung-ho killing is fun mentality of old war movies. Here's a group of young college students deciding to join the military.
I've been thinking, and I'm gonna do it, Carmen. I'm gonna go for federal service.
That's great. Carl and I are signing up tomorrow. Come with us.
And they sign up just in time because on a distant planet, killer giant bugs have launched an attack that ultimately threatens Earth. The computer-generated bugs are awfully impressive on a big screen. The movie makes the case that man is the most dangerous creature on Earth or off. Thrilling to be violent.
Some say the bugs were provoked by the intrusion of humans into their natural habitat, that a live and let live policy is preferable to war with the bugs.
Let me tell you something. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all.
Yeah! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Oh, yeah!
Starship Troopers, based on Robert A. Heinlein's novel, is a dazzling-looking film, to be sure. The satire, I think, is broad, and I was bored only by some of the banal byplay between the young cast members. The result, a pretty good popcorn-eating picture, repetitive, but fun.
Too repetitive for me, and I have to give a thumbs down. I enjoyed the satire at the beginning,
Yes,
but
I did
then
too.
at the end, and it's a movie that lasts more than 2 hours,
That's why I said
you
repetitive.
get a lot of shots of bugs being blown up. And these bugs, once you master what they look like and what they can do, are pretty boring because they don't have very many resources. They're not real interesting movie aliens like the character, for example, in the movie Alien. And you'd think that sooner or later the troopers would figure out that it's inefficient to try to kill them with machine gun bullets when all it takes is a grenade and you could blow them right up real good.
I may have been intimidated by the sheer artistry. I'm talking about the technical computer artistry of them, because when I saw the masses of them running, I thought of Jurassic Park, frankly, and how exciting it was to see those creatures, which had more personality, to be sure. But the satire constantly throughout it, I enjoyed having exposed the kick of killing, and I thought that that was what this director Verhoeven put into the story.
It just goes on and on and on.
It does go on,
and
it could have been cut by 20 minutes.
Easily. Okay, coming up next, Samuel L. Jackson and Eve's Bayou, a psychological mystery based on a child's memories.
Daddy loves you so much.
I know.
Come on, baby doll, let's show him how to
A 10-year-old girl named Eve Batiste is heartbroken there because her father dances with her older sister and not with her. And life in her Louisiana family seems to center around the father, played by Samuel L. Jackson, as a popular doctor and a dedicated ladies' man. Later that night, when Eve thinks she sees her father with a woman who is not her mother, he tries to explain it away.
You love Mama?
Your mama is the most beautiful, perfect woman I ever met.
That's Journey Smollett in a quiet, strong performance as Eve. Her mother is played by Lynn Whitfield, and her Aunt Moselle, played by Debbie Morgan, has the gift of foretelling everyone's future except for her own.
We're two of a kind, my brother and I. One day he'll turn around, and he will see you for the first time. And then he'll stop looking for what he already has.
Eve, jealous because her father prefers her older sister and angry because he's cheating on her mother, consults a local voodoo practitioner, played by Diane Carroll.
I will give you something to protect you and your family from this person.
I want him dead. More than more.
For certain, you are sure?
Yes, ma'am.
In scene after scene, Eve's Bayou is simply mesmerizing. It's the kind of passionate family drama that coils around memory and mystery, like one of Ingmar Bergman's films about his childhood. The film avoids a cut-and-dried storyline and instead deals with conflicting memories of a long-ago summer and what they really meant. And it's beautifully written, acted, and photographed. It was written and directed by the actress Casey Lemons and is an astonishingly mature and assured debut. Eve's Bayou has a place on my list of the year's best films.
I don't know if it would make my list that high, but I will tell you that what I love about it is that it pushes every hot button for children. Everything that kids can be afraid of, parental infidelity, preference of one child over another, all of these issues are handled magnificently. And I think that's just to have a surefire knowledge of what concerns children. I think this is a terrific
It's so interesting the way it's all seen through Eve's eyes.
Correct.
And there are conflicting versions of what happened.
Of course.
And the movie goes back, even starts by saying that memory can be elusive.
These
We don't know exactly what, and as kids, we're always trying to think, what did that mean? Did I get that wrong? Did I get that right? Am I correct to be afraid? And it's so beautifully handled
After
here.
you see this, you open up a dialogue with, you want to open up a dialogue with your children to prevent misunderstandings. I mean, the film is fascinating for parents to see. Coming up next, a young woman schemes to hold her place in European society. Helena Bonham Carter stars in Henry James' The Wings of the Dove.
The magic is brighter.
Isn't it fantastic?
The adventure is greater. Whoa! And the fun is bigger than ever. Because Disney's The Little Mermaid is coming to the big screen for a special holiday engagement. Join Ariel, Sebastian, Flounder, and all your favorite friends. Whoa! Only in theaters, Disney's The Little Mermaid, rated G.
I wouldn't miss it.
Coming to theaters Friday, November 14th for 17 days only.
Teddy Gibbs can't let a sore throat stop him, even when it feels this raw. He toughs it out through the hacking cough, the aches, the fever. But when the job is done, he's desperate for relief. Fast, powerful Theraflu relief. With the first sip of that soothing, lemony hot liquid, he feels comfort instantly. Soon, his throat feels calmed, his cough quieted, his chills warmed. Maximum strength Theraflu, instant comfort, powerful relief.
Our next film, The Wings of the Dove, follows a fascinating turn-of-the-century character, a young English woman who plots to hold her station in life and will sacrifice love to do so. Helena Bonham Carter, a wonderful period actress whose face and manner seem from another era, stars as Kate Croy, who plots behind the back of her lover to fix him up with a dying, wealthier woman so that eventually he will inherit the money and the power it conveys. Here, the scheme is hatched on a trip to Venice. Her lover is played by Linus Roach.
You want me to seduce a girl, and you really think she'll just leave me all her money?
Yes,
Why?
because I know her. I know how she loves.
And here is that heiress who is absolutely smitten by him, played by Allison Elliott.
We have to go all the way inside.
Millie,
I told you I was going to make a fool of myself tonight.
I don't want you to.
I'll only let you take me home if you promise to come see me tomorrow.
I promise.
And the next day. And the day after that.
In a very frank moment, Kate confesses to her love the quandary she is in with him. Love is not enough.
What if I didn't let you leave tonight? What would happen?
I'd be penniless. Cast out of society. And I'd be stuck with you.
Good.
Maybe it's just perfect that we're reviewing The Wings of the Dove on the same show as a boisterous entertainment like Starship Troopers. This is a small period piece, but the drama of Kate Croy's overreaching ambition is quite powerful and tragic. I like the movie, and as always, the work of Helena Bonham Carter. I don't know if she's a household name, but she ought to be.
Well, people have seen her in
They've
movies.
seen her. I don't know if they know her name.
And she's good. She's really good in this film. And what's interesting is, as always in Henry James, the ambiguity of the feelings. This is not simply a girl and her guy gang up to steal the money from the dying heiress. It's more like everybody knows what's going on. The heiress knows what's going on. She knows what the score is. And both of the other people like her. And so it's like, it's almost like if everybody had enough money, we wouldn't have any of these problems.
Hey, you don't think that's true in life?
I think there's a lot of truth
I
to
think
that,
there's a lot. When we come back, a video pick of the week, a tribute to hard-boiled director Sam Fuller, who died at 85.
Don't ever do that. Don't you ever kiss me like that again.
What? It was just one of those nights. It was just one of those fabulous flights. When you're searching for something better, when you're looking for a change, every once in a while, you come across a Gossamer Bay. Capture something better.
Speak freely on Monday nights.
It's not the dress that makes you look big. It's your hips. Mama?
Sure, she thinks you're cute. You're rich.
Visit.
Now switch to Sprint Sense and get free long-distance calling on Monday nights.
Yeah, I have seen cuter babies.
Bob, you're not fooling anyone. It doesn't even look like hair. No.
Oh, boy.
When Sprint said speak freely on Monday nights, I don't think that's what they meant.
Get your Monday nights free. Call now, 1-800-PIN-DROP.
Hi, I'm Marley Matlin. I'd like to ask you to take a moment and listen very closely. Listen to the sounds that surround you. Do you hear it? It's the sound of America's needy children crying out for help. Right now, in America, 12 million children are either hungry or at risk of going hungry. Shocking, isn't it? From our inner cities to the suburbs, and even throughout rural America, our children are suffering and they need help. That's why I encourage you to join me in supporting Feed the Children, because their first priority is a child in need. Do you hear the cries of our children? I do. Not with my ears, but with my heart. Because after all, when it comes to a hungry child, a compassionate heart is all that really counts. Please, call Feed the Children today, and thanks for caring.
Siskel and Ebert's Video Pick of the Week is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
For my video picks this week, I'd like to suggest 3 titles by director Samuel Fuller, the master of tough guy melodramas. Fuller died last week at the age of 85 after a long career that began in 1925 as a newspaper copy boy at the age of 13. His great contribution was to the ranks of classic B movies, and his best was probably Pick Up on South Street from 1953 with Richard Widmark as a street thug who stumbles onto valuable information and Thelma Ritter as a wisecracking know-it-all.
Stay away from your shack, Skip. There's a guy gunning for you.
Well, he won't have any trouble finding me. Everybody in town knows where I live.
I didn't pinpoint you, honest. I give Tiger the name of 8 cannons, but that creep that was with him, he fingered your picture like a shot.
Another hard-boiled Fuller movie was Shock Corridor from 1963, about an undercover journalist who checks himself into an insane asylum and is driven mad by the experience.
Well, a man can't tamper with the mind and live in a mental hospital and subject himself to all kinds of tests and expect to come out of it sane. John is a catatonic schizophrenic. What a tragedy. An insane mute will win the Pulitzer Prize.
Fuller's last major production was autobiographical. The Big Red One, made in 1980 and starring Lee Marvin, was based on his own experiences as an infantryman in Italy during World War II. Sam Fuller was a maverick who talked tough, like the cynical tabloid newspaperman he started out as. When he won the Lifetime Award 2 years ago at the Independent Spirit Awards, they gave him a standing ovation, and no wonder, because Sam Fuller embodied the spirit of independent film. Now let's take another look at the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs down for the disappointing media drama Mad City, although we liked the sharp edge of the Dustin Hoffman character. A split vote on Bean. I thought it had some great moments, but placed its weird character too much in the real world. Gene enjoyed the film's big laughs. We split again on Starship Troopers. I felt it started out well, but degenerated into a repetitive shooting gallery. Gene enjoyed the film's satire and gives it a marginal thumbs up. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up for Eve's Bayou, the poetic story of a young girl's loss of innocence. And 2 more thumbs up for The Wings of the Dove, and especially for Helena Bonham Carter's performance as a woman who must balance love and money. So some good films this week, and I think the real discovery is Eve's Bayou for me.
That's the name that you won't be hearing in the 30-second TV ads for movie this week, so remember, Eve's Bayou. And remember, you can check our votes and hear our reviews of recent movies at our website. The address is Siskel-Ebert.com. That's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including The Jackal, starring Bruce Willis as an assassin being tracked by terrorist Richard Gere, and The Man Who Knew Too Little, starring Bill Murray as a clueless American caught up in British espionage. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
The all-new kitchen faucet by Moen.
The only thing we didn't change is how long it lasts. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
Can't afford to be sick? Try great tasting Quantum Zinc lozenges. Nothing makes your cold shorter.
Scrabble, America's good time game. Yeah.
And now there's Deluxe Travel Scrabble.
America's good time game.
From Milton Bradley.
Tooth whiteners, mouthwashes, breath mints, plaque fighters, and chewing gum? Forget them. All you need is Yow, the revolutionary new breath freshener that whitens teeth and fights bad breath.